Hey guys, welcome to the channel, MachHaven. This is the game Stormworks, and I am going to show you guys the crane that I built. There was already some big cranes in the workshop, but most of them were pretty old, and they didn't really work. But they looked nice, but it just didn't really work, so I went and built this one. And it has automatic clutch. Once it goes up to a certain RPS, so the clutch will lock in. You got the bunch of gauges there. 6-speed manual transmission because I prefer manual transmissions in most of my vehicles. You get what all the buttons do right there on the left side. The thing I tried to build it to make it like more optimized, and I wanted it to work but also like look pretty good. So you'll see like I had to make some compromises to make it work where it looks a little bit worse, but it still looks pretty good, I think. The other cranes, you would turn around right here, and there'd be phantom forces acting on the boom, and you just wouldn't even be able to turn. You wouldn't even be able to do a 180. Yeah, huge crane, weighs like, yeah, 160,000 kilograms. Run the emergency brake, park it right here. But I think I put lights on there. I don't remember if I even put lights on here. But its door goes back into the engine room. You got some gear here. Got a couple seats. So the engine is a 9-cylinder 3x3 engine, which is pretty decent size, especially for basically a crane. It's got 6 radiators, so it's got a lot of cooling. It could honestly use more because of how hot it is over in this climate area, whatever. But got the doors there. Okay, I did not put any lights on it. That hook there has pulleys arranged in a way where it makes it where the winch can lift more. You got a side door here with a bunch of gear. Also more access to the engine room and the generator. Yeah, we got a bunch of repair stuff, fire extinguishers, the engine on the other side of it. You can see the door over there where we went in before. If you go down under here, you got the gas tank on the left. That orange wall is a gas tank. You got more like firefighter gear, Arctic gear. Then you got the pump that goes into the gas tank. Pumped back, air goes back into the thing, so it pumps really well. If you press this button on the door, and while you're on it and you jump, it'll kind of launch you up in the air on top of the crane. So it's like another way to get up on top of the crane if you want to. There are stairs up to it on the side here, though, so you can just like go up the ladder and then up all the stairs and get on top on both sides that way as well, as I show you right here. But yeah, you see how I had to make the boom with all those like, basically to make the booms like opened up so that way the phantom forces wouldn't collide while you're driving and just cause the whole thing to basically go crazy. So that's the main compromise I had to make for the crane. But you got the arm lock here, which unlocks the arm and unlocks the hook. You got a camera there on the boom to show you the hook. And you got a camera on the actual hook itself. And the boom camera zooms, the camera on the hook does not zoom. These are the buttons to spread out the stabilizers. And these, yeah, I had to make some compromises on these too because I wanted them to be like thicker and look better, but I was also having phantom forces, so I had to just keep all the phantom forces to a minimum on here. So it did look better originally until I realized I had a bunch of phantom problems. But there's 2 speed modes on the crane. You got fast and slow. Fast is more for when you're carrying like light stuff you don't really care about as much, or you don't have anything carrying at all. And the slow speed is for when you want to be like very careful with something very heavy. You don't want to slam something. There's a little bit of phantom forces right here for some reason. I'm not sure what that was. I'll have to. This crane is not finished yet, so I still have some stuff I gotta work out. But it's functional right now. Like there's nothing else that it absolutely needs. Just little things here and there that would like nice features that would make it better. Sometimes it gets a little stuck on the boom. Not sure why it does that, but most of the time it doesn't. And if you just wiggle it around, it'll usually work. So you see me here kind of wiggling it a little bit. But something this big, to get it to work like consistently is hard to do because there's so many moving parts. I have a smaller version because this one only fits in like the 2 land building boxes here, which is that one right there, and then the one over and towards the middle of this landmass on the DLC. So I have one where it's kind of just cut in the middle and then spliced back together. So that way you have the same crane except it's like 3 wheels shorter, and it'll fit in the big land boxes like the air hangar on the main green island. Yeah, you can see I'm just extending it out here so you can see how far it goes, and I'll pick up one of these containers. And the goal is to try to pick up a container and put it on the roof. It'll lift up these containers no problem. The maximum weight this can lift, I have lifted 100 tons I've picked up, and then it's capable of lifting about 55 tons without too much problems. So I say that's really like closer to its max weight, but it can lift more. It kind of depends on how the game physics are feeling and stuff. But I use the mag alls to pick this up, even though the mag alls can't pick up a lot. There's another main connector hook that most people use that is on there too. I just haven't really messed with these crates very much. I'm still new to Stormworks. So, but I've learned a lot. I've watched a ton of tutorials and I did a bunch of testing to figure out how to like pump fluids faster and phantom forces and engine cooling. I built my own ECU and stuff. So right now I'm going the slow speed so that way things stay stable, they don't smash around. And unfortunately the winch doesn't really go down with a light weight because of the way I have it attached. If you're doing something lighter weight, you should really only have like 1 pulley going through it, which is you just disconnect it or whatever when you put it down towards the ground. You can do it outside of build mode. So if you're picking up something light. Yeah, I just have it in the max because the max way to do it, some people might not know how to hook it up that way, but it's easy to unhook it and just have it go through like 1 pulley or whatever. So I'm going to show you how tall this thing is once we get it over near the building, because it should be almost fully extended, I believe. So far though, this is my like fourth build. So I built a boat first, a little like speedboat that you guys seen in the shorts if you guys watched anything on my channel. And then I built like this amphibious vehicle because I needed it. So it's just built to do one specific thing. So it's not really like a full build. It was just like a quick throw it together, a quick build. But then the second like actual focus build was a huge tanker ship with some guns on it, and it can hold like 100,000 liters of fuel, I believe. It's around that. Yeah, it has like two big turrets on it. That's mostly just so I can go get jet fuel from my boat and load up like a base or whatever with it. And then I built this crane. It was like how good are the cranes in this game? You know, it's a good test I like to do for building games. So you can see I have it up like over the building now. It's really high up. So then I built this crane, and then I built I kind of turned on the fast mode and then yanked up and it ripped it off. But I built a helicopter after this, and it's based off of the MH-53 helicopter that I've also probably seen in the short video if you watched any of my shorts on my channel. Subscribe, by the way, if you haven't. Like the video if you like it, and leave a comment on what you liked and disliked. Yeah, so this is biggest crane I've seen in the workshop. I have not seen a bigger all-terrain crane than this. I'm sure there's like other big tower cranes and stuff that are bigger that don't drive anywhere and stuff, but for this type of crane, it's the biggest one I've seen in the workshop that actually works. Actually, just biggest one in the workshop, period, I think, whether it works or not. But yeah, so then the helicopter is the last thing I was working on. So I have a total of like 5 vehicles I built so far, and this is the 4th one. So I haven't built a lot in Stormworks, but I've spent like most of my time in the game building. Yeah, this crane has turned out better than I expected though. I really like the crane building in this game. It could be like, I wish the phantom forks were what fixed. This is modded a little bit because the hinges on here are like weak and they're weird. You put like the gearing on like you think the strongest setting, but then it's like not necessarily the strongest setting. So it's weird. So I modded the tires and the hinges so the tires would have more grip, so it wasn't slipping around everywhere, because that kind of sucks in this game. And then the hinges gave them way more power, because I have like 6 velocity pivots, 6 large velocity pivots, just to lift up the boom of the crane. And it's still like not even close to being enough on this with vanilla strength, I don't think. But yeah, this is Crane. Let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching. Peace.